Thank you very much for taking your time to come here again. In our second lecture today, I would start by telling you a personal story. When I wanted to learn French, someone told me that if I want to speak good French, I need to study the grammar. Believe me, I started by learning the grammar. All the grammatical rules in French. I had to know all of them. I crammed them in my head so as to be able to speak good French, perfect French, as I was told. But little did I know that was one of the worst things I had to do to learn the language. I started learning the grammar. I started with a book called Becherel. If you have studied French, you would know what I'm saying. I learned all the conjugations of the verbs, and God knows that there are so many in French. I learned all the grammatical rules, all the conjugations. I had almost all of them in my head. But do you know what happened to me? It prevented me from speaking, from communicating. After all, language is about communicating, using the sounds of the language to talk, to speak to people, to communicate with one another. You don't learn your mother tongue from the books. You learn your mother tongue from listening to your parents first and emulating them. And that's why, because of my own experience, I am safely going to tell you not to start learning any language through the grammar. So do not start with the grammar. Do not start learning the language through the grammar. What it does is to reduce your speed of communication, slows you down, because each time you want to communicate, you want to translate first into your mother tongue and then into the language you're speaking or you want to speak. So it slows you down. Your communication will not be fluid. It's a waste of time. But be careful. I am not condemning grammar wholeheartedly. Grammar helps you to write well. It makes you construct sentences. It improves your syntax. It helps you a lot in so many ways. But when it comes to communicating or communication, what you need is learning phrases, learning idioms, learning slangs of the language. These are the ways of improving your communication. Grammar alone would not help you to get all these things. So, learning the grammar first is a mistake. But listening to people first, before going to the grammar eventually, is the process or the best process or the best method of learning, because it will help you to speak fluently, converse with people, talk with them without hindrances, because you're learning a complete phrase, not verbs, nouns, adjectives, or adverbs. You're learning a complete phrase. And so it will help you a lot. If you learn about 10 phrases, you can make 100 sentences. But if you learn all the grammatical rules, it will not help you to make 100 sentences. So I'm trying to say here that if you learn the grammar first, it will slow you down, in spite of the fact that you write better, you speak more better than before if you didn't, but you can't, it will be very difficult for you to speak fluently, because you have to translate first before you begin to make your sentences in your head. So it's it slows you down. That's it. If you're learning the grammar first, it slows you down. So that's why I recommend do not study the grammar first. Listen to people, listen to native speakers, emulate them, copy their ways, say what they say, try to repeat what they say as many times as possible. Listen to the radio, the television, watch films, listen to people, native speakers of the language. This is one way to really grasp the language solidly behind you. You can't do it the other way around. Believe me. And until next time, please keep speaking up.